welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that's probably on a lot of your minds right now. Higher education in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we're diving deep into choosing a private institution.
Okay.
The articles you sent over really highlight the challenges of applying to universities.
Yeah.
With that crazy statistic about application numbers being 30 times the available spots.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of students are finding themselves at a crossroads,
Right.
needing to weigh their options carefully.
It's definitely a jungle out there.
Yeah,
Sifting through all the choices could be overwhelming.
for sure.
But we're here to equip you with the right questions to ask.
Right.
To help you discern what truly makes a private institution stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, that 30 times figure really hit me hard.
Yeah.
It makes the whole process seem so daunting.
Right.
But like you said, it also means there are tons of possibilities beyond the traditional university route.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the key is to not simply settle,
Right.
but to be discerning. To understand the nuances of what constitutes a truly valuable education.
Okay.
Speaking of which, one of your articles mentioned some expert advice from Dr. Linda Meyer.
Right.
She stresses the importance of industry-aligned qualifications, which sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But what does that actually look like in practice?
I was wondering that myself.
Yeah.
It's easy to say a qualification should be relevant.
Right.
But how can a student actually tell if what they're learning will translate into real-world skills?
That's the million-dollar question, right? One way is to look beyond the course titles
Okay.
and dig into the specifics of the curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Are they incorporating case studies
Yeah.
based on real South African companies?
Okay.
Are they bringing in guest lecturers who are currently working in the field?
Right.
For example, if you're interested in tech, are they teaching the latest programming languages and frameworks that employers are actually looking for?
So it's not just about having computer science on your diploma. It's about knowing the specific tools and technologies that are in demand right now in South Africa.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
And another thing Dr. Meyer emphasizes is practical learning
Okay.
for real-world readiness.
Mm-hmm.
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Think about it. How many people graduate with a degree but then struggle to actually apply what they've learned in a real job?
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
All the time.
So what are some signs that a private institution is taking this seriously?
Well, internships are a big one.
Okay.
Does the institution have established partnerships with companies where students can get hands-on experience?
Right.
Are there capstone projects that require students to solve real-world problems
Mm-hmm.
for actual clients? These are the types of experiences that not only look good on a resume, but actually prepare you for the challenges and complexities of a real job.
Yeah, it's like bridging the gap between the theoretical and the practical, right? Giving students a taste of what it's actually like to work in their chosen field before they even graduate.
Now, another piece of Dr. Meyer's advice that we should unpack is the importance of a thriving alumni network.
Okay.
Now, this might seem like a fluffy nice to have,
Yeah.
but it can actually be a game changer for graduates.
You know, I've always wondered about that.
Yeah.
What's so special about an alumni network? Isn't it just a bunch of people who went to the same school?
It can be so much more than that. Imagine having access to a network of professionals across various industries
Right.
who are all connected by their shared experience at that institution.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a built-in mentorship program and support system.
Okay.
We've seen cases where graduates from certain South African private institutions have landed incredible jobs simply because they had an alumni connection at the company.
Wow.
It can be a powerful advantage.
That's amazing. It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket when you're entering the job market. It sounds like having a strong alumni network is a good sign that the institution is truly invested in its students' long-term success.
Absolutely. It shows that they're not just focused on getting you through the door, but on supporting you throughout your career journey.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense.
Good.
So far, we've talked about industry-aligned qualifications,
Right.
practical learning experiences, and a thriving alumni network.
Uh-huh.
What else should students be considering when evaluating a private institution?
Well, there's another crucial aspect that Dr. Meyer highlights: employability support.
Okay.
What kind of resources does the institution offer to help students transition from the classroom to the workforce?
So it's not just about getting you a degree, it's about equipping you with the tools to actually use that degree to launch a successful career.
Exactly. Think about things like career counseling services, resume writing workshops, mock interviews, and networking events.
Okay.
Do they have a dedicated career services department that's plugged into the South African job market? Do they track their graduates' employment rates?
Mhm.
These are all signs that they're taking employability seriously.
I never really thought about that before,
Yeah.
but it makes perfect sense.
It's important.
It's like the missing piece of the puzzle.
Right.
A degree is important, but it's only valuable if you can actually leverage it to find a job.
Exactly. And this brings us to another key consideration: international recognition.
Oh, interesting.
Now, you might be thinking, does this really matter if I'm planning to stay and work in South Africa?
Right.
But here's why it's still crucial.
It's interesting you bring up international recognition because I admit I was a bit skeptical about its relevance for someone focused on building a career in South Africa.
Yeah.
It always seemed like something more important for people who wanted to study or work abroad.
I understand where you're coming from. But
Yeah.
think of it this way. In today's globalized world,
Mm-hmm.
even South African companies are increasingly looking for graduates with a global perspective and skill set.
Right.
Having a qualification recognized by international bodies signals a certain level of quality and rigor.
Ah, so it's like a stamp of approval
Exactly.
from the global education community,
Yeah.
showing that your education meets certain international benchmarks.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this can be a real differentiator when you're competing for jobs even within South Africa.
Right.
It shows employers that you're not just qualified locally, but that your skills and knowledge are recognized on a global scale.
Okay.
For example, if an engineering program is accredited by a well-known international body,
Mm-hmm.
it often means the curriculum is updated regularly to meet global industry standards.
Right.
That's valuable for a student's future career prospects.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having an extra layer of validation for your skills.
Exactly.
Yeah, it broadens your horizons even if you ultimately choose to stay in South Africa.
Right.
It tells employers that you're not just limited to the local context.
Exactly. And it's not just up the job market.
Yeah.
International recognition can also open doors to further education opportunities.
Hmm.
Imagine you decide down the line that you want to pursue a master's degree abroad.
Okay.
Having a qualification that's already recognized internationally can make that process much smoother.
So it's really about having options and flexibility.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about future-proofing your education, so to speak.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked a lot about the hard skills
Right.
and career-focused aspects of choosing a private institution.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget about something equally important: the overall student experience.
Yeah, for sure.
This is where things get a bit more personal and subjective.
Right.
But it could be just as crucial to your success and well-being.
Right, because university is about so much more than just attending classes and getting good grades.
Exactly.
It's a huge part of your life for several years.
It is.
And it's important to find the place where you feel comfortable, supported, and inspired.
Exactly. You're going to spend a significant chunk of your time on campus,
Right.
interacting with faculty, staff, and other students. The environment, the culture, the sense of community, all of these things can have a profound impact on your overall experience.
This reminds me of a friend who chose a private institution purely based on its academic reputation.
Mm-hmm.
She got amazing grades, but was absolutely miserable the whole time.
Oh, no.
Because she didn't feel like she belonged there.
Right.
The campus culture wasn't a good fit for her personality.
Yeah.
And she ended up feeling isolated and stressed.
That's a perfect example of why the student experience is so crucial.
Yeah.
It's about finding a place where you can thrive,
Yeah.
not just survive.
So how can a student get a sense of the campus culture before actually enrolling? It seems a bit intangible, right?
It's not always easy, but there are definitely things you can do.
Okay.
First and foremost, visit the campus, if at all possible.
Okay.
Talk to current students, sit in on a class walk around and observe the interactions between people.
Right.
Get a feel for the vibe.
It's about going beyond the glossy brochures and marketing materials.
Exactly.
And experiencing the place firsthand.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
Talk to the admissions staff about student clubs and organizations, social events and support services.
Right?
Are there opportunities to connect with students who share your interests?
Mm-hmm.
Are there mentorship programs? Is there a strong sense of community?
It's like trying to find a community within a community, right?
Yeah.
A place where you feel like you belong and can be yourself.
Exactly. And remember, every student is different.
Right?
What matters most is finding an environment that resonates with you and supports your personal and academic growth.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from industry-aligned qualifications to employability, support, international recognition, to the overall student experience.
Yeah, a lot to consider.
There's a lot to consider when choosing a private institution.
That's true.
It can feel overwhelming, but hopefully we've given you a framework for navigating this complex landscape.
It's all about being informed and asking the right questions.
Right.
Don't settle for the first institution that accepts you. Take your time, do your research, and find a place that truly aligns with your goals, your values, and your vision for the future.
I love that. It's about making a conscious, informed choice, not just following the crowd.
Exactly. And remember, there is no one right answer.
Right.
The best private institution for you is the one that fits your unique needs and aspirations.
Well said. I think we've given our listener a lot to think about.
Hopefully.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up this deep dive? You know, it's striking how much emphasis Dr. Meyer puts on the individual student's journey.
Yeah.
It's not just about picking a name from a ranking list,
Right.
but finding that perfect academic ecosystem.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to approach this decision with both your head and your heart.
Right.
Don't just look at the stats and figures. Consider how the institution makes you feel.
Yeah.
Does their mission resonate with you?
Okay.
Do you see yourself thriving in that environment?
It's like trying to find a good friend, not just a study buddy,
Yeah.
right? You want to be surrounded by people who challenge and support you, who share your passions, and push you to be your best self.
Exactly.
Mm.
And remember, this is your journey, your investment.
Right.
You deserve to feel excited and empowered by the choice you make.
Okay.
Don't settle for anything less than a place that truly aligns with your values and aspirations.
I think that's such a powerful message. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure of finding the best institution.
Right.
But ultimately, the best institution for you is the one that feels right.
Yeah.
The one where you can imagine yourself growing and flourishing both academically and personally.
Well said. And if I can leave our listener with one final piece of advice,
Okay.
it would be this. Trust your gut.
Okay.
If something feels off, you have nagging doubts,
Mm-hmm.
don't ignore them.
Right.
Dig deeper, ask more questions, and don't be afraid to walk away if something doesn't sit right.
That's so important. We've talked about all these practical considerations, but sometimes you just have a feeling.
Yeah,
And I think it's important to honor that intuition.
absolutely. Choosing a private institution is a significant decision,
Right.
and it's crucial to feel confident and comfortable with your choice.
For sure.
So trust your instincts, do your research, and remember, there's a perfect place out there waiting for you.
Such a great point to end on. I feel like we've equipped our listeners with some serious tools to tackle this decision-making process head on.
Hopefully.
Thanks for guiding us through this deep dive into higher education in South Africa. It's been truly enlightening.
My pleasure. It's always exciting to explore these topics and hopefully empower students to make informed choices about their future.
And to our listeners, we hope you feel more informed and confident as you embark on this exciting journey.
Good luck.
Remember, your future is bright and the possibilities are endless.